Hey everyone, Genji's horrible. Ever since Genji became my main DPS character because Doomfist transitioned to being a tank, I found out that him in particular has so much more trouble being a flanker. Literally everything forces him to retreat. Now, there are ways around this, right? He has his double jump that disorients players at lower levels, and even at high levels if done correctly, but I don't even think that's his main problem. In my opinion, his main problem is how often he needs to reload. The low amount of damage he does, and that the entire time you're playing Genji, you're just kind of waiting to get your ultimate. Like the wait time to get your ammo reloaded, especially at the range he's forced to be when engaging onto people, especially if you're going to be jumping, you're going to be doing the double jump over their heads, trying to kind of hit them in the head. It takes forever for him to reload his ammo. And this is mainly felt by the nerf of his damage, because before he would do a good amount of damage, so you could probably get the kill off before you needed to retreat or kind of combo it in with your melee or your dash. But now he doesn't do enough damage, especially with how healing is now. And because he doesn't do enough damage, he needs to attack more, but he can't attack more because they nerfed his ammo capacity. And the devs, like a few weeks ago, the devs said that Genji's doing a lot better than we think. And honestly, I call complete bullshit on that. I don't think that's true at all. And maybe at like very, very low levels where, again, you just do a double jump and they're like, oh my god, where did you go? But I think that's not true at all, that he's doing that well. He's actually only viable right now because we're in a meta that kind of reinforces his playstyle, which is dive. So he can take advantage of everybody else going into a fight, like a Genji running in or a Brig running in and things like that. But he himself is not that great. And there's other characters who also just take better advantage of the dive meta than he does. He's in competition of being the worst DPS in the game right now. And on top of that, the nerf he gets to his ammo and his ammo capacity makes it significantly harder for him to even get his ult to begin with, which is the entire thing you're waiting for the entire time you're playing as Genji. So there's that, and then when they removed the two passives DPS had, where they had faster movement speed, which benefited him a lot due to his design, again, he's a diver, that even further brought him down to the ground. He's received kind of like at least like 4 different nerfs since the game came out, like indirectly, and they still think he's fine. Like I don't think that's the case at all. And they nerfed him because of how difficult it was for support characters to kind of play the game at the beginning of Overwatch 2. Now, I think that was largely due to a learning curve, because support characters are absolutely insane now, because we had lost the second tank and we lost like essentially the off tank to kind of protect the support characters. Everybody who was playing from Overwatch 1, who was a support character, had to go through a phase where they had to learn how to play without somebody protecting them, and they did it. They did it very well, and then they got all these buffs to them. So I think the video I posted yesterday just straight up talks about it, how support characters are completely broken right now, in my opinion. Well, not all of them, most of them. So now when a Genji's trying to go into a fight, they just get rid of him. Like everything they do, they can easily get away from a Genji, or kill him, or just force him to retreat. All of them. He just doesn't do enough damage to keep up with the healing of the support characters, with the, mixing in with their hacks abilities like Discord or Sleep or getting naded and things like that. Unless he gets the kill off of his initial engagement at the start, he's going to lose the fight. He can't win battles that last a moderate amount of time, because at some point he's going to have to reload, and then they're just going to heal while they're still attacking him, and then he has to get the hell out of there. Anyways, to finish up this intro, I want to say that usually when I do this, I start off with, I make a video specifically on a core aspect of a character when I do these how to fix videos. And then based off of the comments, we all talk about it, we all argue in the comment section, and then I make a final video that is a complete rework. But for this video, I couldn't really pinpoint exactly what the core thing of Genji was. I thought it was going to be his ultimate, his Dragon Blade, but I realized that part of his problem is his complete reliance on the Dragon Blade, right? So the only way to kind of fix that would be to kind of bring it down, and then it wouldn't really make much sense to go that route, because that was the problem. So I was kind of thinking to myself, I sat down and I thought to myself, what is the gimmick of Genji? Like, what is his core thing? And I got to the conclusion that he's a ninja character, so it's his combos. He needs just better things that facilitate his ability to do combos. So in this video, I'll be kind of spitballing a lot of ideas for several different skills he has. I'll do the shuriken, the dash, and his ultimate. In certain ways that will increase his combo potential. And no, they don't all have to be incorporated at the same time, right? You can mix and match, and all these ideas are just kind of see what can be done in preparation for the final video. Anyways, don't forget that after the main suggestions, I kind of have a wild card section near the end of the video, and I think that's like the favorite part for a lot of you guys. So, keep listening to hear that. Anyways, let's begin. So like I said, the first section I'll be doing is the shuriken. So the first option to change for the shuriken, I think this is a very easy one. Giving back his original damage, or giving back his original ammo capacity, or even giving back both. The worst thing about Genji, the absolute worst thing about Genji is how he feels like he constantly needs to be reloading. He doesn't do enough damage, which means he has to shoot more, and then because he can't really shoot more because he doesn't have the capacity. They need to bring back one or the other. This is really important, especially with how much healing DPS can do now. Oh, did I say healing DPS can do now? I actually meant how much DPS support characters can do now, because support characters are DPS characters that can heal and run away and have hacks abilities. As soon as he runs out of ammo, he needs to run away, because while he's reloading, they are rapidly healing themselves again, and they are still doing damage to him. He has to play so close to the people he's attacking to get the 3 shuriken a headshot and, do the headshot combo dash thing. And with how close he needs to be to them, it doesn't make sense for him to take such a long time to reload. It's actually kind of just dumb. And it's honestly the number one way I die when playing Genji. Like I run out of ammo, and then while I'm reloading, I'm just kind of stuck. Like I'm just kind of stuck there, and somebody kills me. Especially because he doesn't have the HP for it, right? He's not like Tracer where he could just rewind. Yes, he has to deflect, but people have gotten so good at just kind of playing around that. Plus, there's a lot of beam characters now. So yeah, unless you kill them at the beginning, you just have to restart the entire engagement. Another possible change would be to just make his shurikens travel faster. He was already kind of forced to throw 3 shuriken at the same time, and depending on how far you are or the angle you're approaching at, you're probably only going to hit 1 or 2. So I think the increased speed of his projectile of his shuriken would increase the accuracy, which could make up for the lack of damage. Next, let's talk about his dash. The first thing I want to do with his dash is a small change that I think would have significant ramifications. I think it would be a game changer for Genji if while dashing, he could turn around. He could just kind of face a different location, kind of like how the Doomfist Seismic Slam still allows him to turn around while he's kind of still going in the same direction that, he initiated the move on. So let's see, you're dashing with Genji, and then while you're dashing, you can quickly turn around, and then by the end of your dash, you're facing, behind you. This is very useful because one of the clunkiest things about playing Genji is that you dash through somebody, and then you have to take the time to turn around and then, throw the shuriken or melee the person or whatever. It's actually a very high skill thing to do that is very clunky, even at higher levels, and it doesn't really work that well because Genji is still pretty not that great. So I think this will be a game changer if they facilitated this more. Honestly, it's such a big change. I think this will completely change the game. This will completely change the way he operates. This alone will probably just double his combo potential. The next one might be a little controversial, but I'll throw it out there. I think he should have 2 dash attacks on a rotating cooldown, kind of like Zarya's bubble, but the damage should be reduced to 40 each. I would honestly be fine if it actually goes down to 35 each, but let's say 40 for now. Why? Almost all the support characters do a ton of damage or have several means of escape while healing themselves. He needs to be able to chase after these people that can teleport everywhere or have these, get out of jail free cards, and deal quick damage to them because his damage simply doesn't keep up with the healing anymore. Dash attacks are instantly healed the way it is now. And he gets stuck in a fight and he's unable to escape, and then he just dies. This would be great for combos and chasing people. Again, we're doing the combos, we're doing the chasing, we're trying to keep him active. So I think this would be really good for his move, even just mobility wise, because he already has the double jump. And it's many times you dash into a fight, and people think you're supposed to keep the dash until you're about to just kill somebody, so you get the cooldown back. That is ideal, but you're kind of wasting it. A lot of times you just dash to the person, you turn around, and then you continue with your shuriken volleys. But I don't recommend just kind of saving it for just, when somebody's about to die. I think that's not the optimal way of using it. I don't think any high-level Genji player thinks that's the optimal way of using it. You have to use it or you have it. You bring down the HP as low as you can, and then maybe somebody comes in and finishes off the person. Because we all know Genji's not going to do it because he doesn't have the damage anymore. The third thing, I think this is also fixed the major problem I think Genji has earlier. I think his dash should reload his shuriken. Kind of like how Tracer and Reaper and other characters have things that refill their ammo. I think Genji needs a move like that, something that refills his ammo, because it's much more dangerous for him to be caught without being able to attack, especially with how long it takes him to reload. Now for the Dragon Blade. The problem with Dragon Blade is that it's strong and very weak at the same time. It's very confusing. Every time you use it, you have the potential to have essentially a team wipe, or you can take out 3 people, or you do absolutely nothing because you get slept, or you just die, or everybody just runs away so far and you can't chase anybody anymore. And not many people know this, especially with the new Overwatch 2 being the way it is, but it used to do much more damage, but they nerfed the damage of his Dragon Blade because of everybody. There's a certain time where every game you just have a Genji his entire purpose is to build up his Dragon Blade and then get nanoed by Ana, then he'll just kind of wipe out the entire team. So it was a combination of the boosted damage he would get from Ana that caused him to be nerfed. Now you see why people tend to hate the damage boosting capabilities of certain characters. They hate it because Blizzard has been nerfing characters for their interactions, their single interactions with other characters, which is weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's not good for the game. But you can kind of see where the mentality comes from now, right? Because now when you don't have an Ana to give you the nano boost, you're just kind of still nerfed for something that was completely out of your control. But anyways, with this, for the first change I would recommend to do to Dragon Blade is I would increase the damage from 110 to 130, but no longer be boostable by anyone or anything. The reason for this? Well, what I just said, right? What I just said above. If not the increase of damage, then maybe increased duration of the move to kind of maybe give him the equivalent of time it would take to do 2 extra swings with his ultimate. Because people get away so easily, and you just spend a lot of time, chasing the squishies, and they just kind of teleport, and then somebody sleeps you, and you get punched by a Doomfist, and yeah, especially with support characters having all these, get out of jail free cards. So yeah, I think maybe a longer time is due. Now, the other option I would recommend for this, and this one's a little bit also a little bit more on the wild side, but I think they should change his ultimate to all out. Well, not even change it. They should add on to the ultimate and allow him to keep using his shuriken, right? Because people are so good at getting away from him, when he's using his ult, that a lot of time they're just out of reach of his blades. So he needs another form of attack to get the people who are further away from him. So just allow him to still be able to throw his shuriken. He can, use his sword and his shuriken and his deflect, and he's just kind of a more consistent, strong character that has his ultimate would be just a very well put together character that has a few moments of being like a super character. It's just much more stable for him, and it would make him more self-sufficient because he's not going to be relying on a boost or anything. He just has a bunch of things in his kit. Hey everyone, if you're still watching, it means you're probably enjoying the video, so please like and subscribe, and maybe leave a message too, as it helps for the algorithm, which helps me keep making these videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with everything, and if you have a chance, check out my Patreon. It's one of the best ways to support the channel to allow me to keep doing what I do. So yeah, thanks everyone. And now for the wild card. This one's kind of fun, and I hope you guys like it. But with all the energy beam based characters now in the game, so many of which are viable, and all of them counter Genji. I'm talking about Zarya, Symmetra, Mei, and Moira. That's like 4 people on the team, and I've played games against those guys where you're just not allowed to play Genji in situations like that. But I was thinking of a way to kind of counter this, or kind of make some type of mechanic that can benefit Genji out of it. And in short, I think that when Genji deflects and he starts, taking damage from a beam attack, he stops deflecting, but he stops deflecting projectile attacks, like the standard bullets and things that he will normally deflect, and essentially absorbs the damage of the beam weapon into his sword. And this would do kind of like the Zarya effect when you attack her bubble, where he gains damage output, but specifically for his sword attacks, so like his melee and his dash attack, not necessarily his ultimate, because I think that's entirely a different sword. But I think it'll be kind of cool, right? Like he's like holding the sword up, and then you can kind of see it getting charged, and then maybe it's glowing, and who knows, maybe if it's like a Torbjorn's lava thing that he's deflecting and he's kind of holding, maybe it has like a fire effect, or if it's Mei's freeze thing, freeze gun, it gets like a cooling effect, like a freezing effect or something like that. And if it's Zarya or Symmetra, it's just extra damage, like things like that. I think that'd be cool. Or maybe even a projectile thing if he absorbs Zarya or Symmetra, but something like that where he can absorb energy based attacks into his sword. I think that would be really cool, and I think that would be very doable, not even OP, which would help with his whole damage thing. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for the potential changes. Again, this was kind of hard deciding what the topic would be, because at first I didn't think Genji had a real gimmick we could really focus on, but because I did settle down on his combo potential, there was a lot I threw at you guys. So what I aimed for is to make his combos much more reliable, make him more self-sufficient, and just give him options to kind of keep up with how support characters have been insanely buffed, and people have gotten so good at playing them and fighting back. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any suggestions, any arguments, I read every comment. I try to respond to everything that I can. So let me know what you guys think for the so I can mix and match and kind of see what the best options are from what I suggested and what you guys suggested for the complete rework video. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm and helps me keep making these videos. And don't forget, I love you.